Charlie's second short story in the Rough Riders Club. She will be completing her level 3 dynamic leadership task, storytelling. This is Charlie with, ooh, this is a scary, scary title. Jane Doe in the Velvet Blue Dress. Charlie, take it
Thank you.
away.
Mother always said people act a little stranger during the full moon, and how one's odd behavior can put someone in the cuckoo's nest. I'd always respond with, I'd always respond with, "Yeah, sure, mom," and some kind of eye roll. After all, she was a bit cuckoo herself. "I mean it, Vanessa. You ought to be careful," Mother would plead. She'd then go into one of her many cocktail waitressing stories. I think her favorite story she'd tell is the time a one-eyed man with a distorted face of scars escaped from the asylum next door. He went straight into the restaurant, then tried to order a black and blue steak. He requested the sharpest knife in the house and wanted the steak to be as rare as possible so that blood dripped down each bite. But that was the 70s, the era of LSD and hallucinations. Who knows? Who knows what the who knows what was real back then? Everyone was on some loony trip. I can tell you though, the story I'm about to tell is as real as it gets, and you should never repeat it. This is the real story of the woman hanging in the velvet blue dress. Fall couldn't come any faster this year. We were well into blue October. The air was crisp, and the air whistled as the fallen trees' leaves whisked around. It was the night of the Charleston, South Carolina's annual Fall Street Festival, the festival where many end up intoxicated, dancing under the blue moonlight of good times and faint memories. This year, it happened to land on a full moon. People of this town believed that full moons were some sort of portal to gain your most desired wish. I wasn't one to believe the tall tales of the full moon. I certainly wasn't gonna start believing in it today. Beating drums, blasting trumpets, and ringing bells filled the space. The conversation with a few of my friends consisted of what and huh, then pointing the finger towards a pint of beer, mouthing, "Another one?" My friend stood in line for another drink while I saved our spot. That is when I noticed from the corner of my eye a woman in a blue velvet dress gliding through the crowd alone. "Vanessa," someone whispered in my right ear. I jumped up to find out no one around me. "Vanessa," another whisper. The Jane Doe in the velvet dress seemed to be calling me. I dropped my cup and began to follow behind, hypnotized by the angelic calling. "This way, Vanessa." I followed until we were deep into the woods near a stream. I stood there silently frozen, staring at Jane Doe falter her knees to sip the stream of water. It had been as if a spell had been casted upon me. "Your youth, darling. That is what I desire," Jane Doe declared. She started humming as she gently rubbed water on her arms and face. She appeared to be getting ready for something. I just didn't know what that something was yet. Fear is the fastest way to strip away youthful skin. Jane Doe reached into her black bag and pulled out some rope. Still standing frozen, all I could do is watch the rope get wrapped around my ankles, then thrown over a tall branch. She pulled the rope until I hung like a roasting chicken. Bugs and insects began to shoot out her mouth towards me as her eyes rolled back. My mind was going wild as my eyes shifted back and forth. I couldn't even scream as much as I tried. She was trying to control my mind. I started to lose consciousness. "No," screamed one of my friends as she tackled Jane Doe, making the rope slip away. When they went down, Jane Doe hit her head, leaving her knocked out. "Vanessa, get up, let's go." My friend hurried to untie the rope from my ankles. I did my best to shake off the daze. We ran as fast as we could to my house. I knew if we tried to explain what just happened, I'd end up in the hospital. The very next day, I opened my blinds. I saw Jane Doe across the street, hanging from a tree in her velvet blue dress. Young children started to gather around, staring up at her. It was as if Jane Doe had been whispering in their ears. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
My God, these stories are making me